Welcome back to my channel. The release of Lobo on January 14th, 2026 brought a fresh wind to the DC Dark Legion ecosystem, especially for players who love long-range physical damage characters. This character is not just a simple damage machine, but also represents a long-term investment strategy aimed at conquering high rankings in the game. Although Lobo has a very impressive starting base power stat of 2860, real gameplay analysis shows that he is a fairly fragile unit and requires strict protection in order to survive for a long time on the battlefield. The difference between an average Lobo and a true warrior lies in how well players understand his mechanics, from attribute stats to the complex skill system and interactions with specific equipment. Therefore, mastering the power progression path and allocating resources properly is mandatory to turn Lobo into an irreplaceable core damage source in the team. In this video, we will dive deep into the details of how to optimize Lobo to help you fully unleash his destructive potential in the most effective way. To understand why Lobo is important, we need to look at his attribute system and his role in the team. Lobo is classified as a champion of the firepower class, playing a key role in maintaining damage pressure on enemies from a safe distance. With his multiversal force being Death Force, he represents one of the strongest power types, often associated with destruction and impressive durability. Lobo's base power starts at 2860, which is a very solid number for a new unit at a low star level. However, the true value of this character lies in his outstanding long-term growth potential. When reaching the star level cap, Lobo's base power can go up to 706,501, and if fully equipped with supporting gear, this number can explode to 1,232,437. This growth is not only reflected in attack numbers, but also shown through steadily increasing physical defense and spiritual defense with each star level. Even though he has certain defensive stats, Lobo is still a fragile character without proper support, requiring players to apply strict protection strategies. This creates a unique combat style that takes time to reach maximum effectiveness, completely different from fast burst damage characters like Sinestro or Constantine. Finally, by belonging to powerful factions such as Weapon Master and Suicide Squad, Lobo is not just a lone gunman, but a tactical piece that can flexibly fit into many different team compositions. However, in practice, players usually do not use him in the Suicide Squad faction, because this faction is currently too weak. Lobo's skill system is designed around tight synergy between his active skills and empowered basic attacks. This design requires a certain amount of time to fully unlock his strength, creating a clear contrast compared to fast burst damage characters like Sinestro or Constantine. The core of Lobo's gameplay is his rage skill called Spacehog Rampage. When activated, he charges straight into the enemy formation on his Space motorcycle and deals physical damage equal to 600% attack to all enemies in the affected area. The most important part of this skill is the empowered state that lasts for the next 10 seconds, allowing Lobo's basic attacks to reach 720% physical damage, turning him into a terrifying sustained damage source. Alongside his rage skill, Lobo also has supporting skills that help control the battle effectively from the very first seconds. The skill My Dog allows him to throw his dog at the enemy, dealing massive physical damage up to 1,000% attack, a number high enough to quickly eliminate single targets. At the same time, the skill You Got Fragged increases Lobo's attack by 60% at the start of the battle, and, more importantly, reduces the healing received by the target by 60% for 5 seconds. This is an invaluable tool for breaking the sustain of teams supported by Green Lantern or Starfire in player versus player battles. The most unique aspect that turns Lobo into a true summoner is the appearance of space dolphins through the skill Lobros. After using his rage skill, every 2 seconds Lobo summons 2 dolphins to join the fight for 10 seconds, with each of their attacks dealing damage equal to 600% of Lobo's attack and counting as basic attacks. However, the downside is that they only rush into the enemy and then disappear, instead of remaining on the field like true summons, such as Poison Ivy summoning vines that stay and attack, or Zatanna summoning clones that remain on the battlefield to fight. Finally, Lobo's global support capability is shown through the skill Main Wingman, which increases attack by 5% for all champions in the team, and additionally increases health by 5% for firepower class champions, confirming his strategic value on a global scale. To optimize Lobo's power, legacy pieces play the role of signature gear that can completely change the course of a battle, and the ultimate goal players should aim for is the Spacehog equipment. The importance of Spacehog lies in providing a short but extremely valuable period of immortality, allowing Lobo to survive early burst damage from assassins or powerful magic attacks. Without this equipment, Lobo is often eliminated before he can activate his rage skill and summon dolphins, causing his combat effectiveness to drop significantly. However, because upgrading Spacehog requires a large amount of the rare resource Magic Eyes, this will be a major challenge for non-spending players. In case you do not yet own this signature equipment, you can consider alternative options such as Tectonic Disruptor to increase physical penetration, Cold Gun to add attack and accuracy, or Lawton Rifle Scope to improve base critical rate and further increase healing reduction on enemies. In addition to equipment, the Transmutation system should focus on stats that maximize physical damage and energy recovery speed. The top priority stats include critical rate and critical damage to take advantage of Lobo's high attack scaling, along with physical penetration to deal with heavily defensive teams. Adding energy gain bonus is also very important because it allows Lobo to cast his rage skill earlier, creating a huge advantage in the opening seconds of the battle. For the bonus selection in this system, Battle Ready is recommended because it increases both attack and defense every 5 seconds, while also providing additional burst damage when the battle lasts longer than 30 seconds. Finally, an important note is that you should use Intertron's items to lock key attributes when performing stat transmutation in order to avoid wasting valuable resources during the character building process. When developing the Force system, players should focus on upgrading the 3 main skills because this is very necessary, even though it will consume a large amount of AC shards and AD shards, and prioritize direct damage stats such as attack, critical rate, and physical penetration. This is extremely important for Lobo. Only if you have excess AC shards and AD shards should you invest further into survivability stats. If you do not have many, you can skip them entirely because in reality they do not help him survive longer if he is targeted anyway. For example, when attacked by Deathstroke or Nightwing, survival is very difficult. Lobo cannot shine on his own and always needs a carefully designed team to protect him and create space for him to deal damage. Lobo's biggest advantage lies in his 2 faction cards, Weapon Master and Suicide Squad, which allow him to activate significant stat bonuses when paired with characters such as Harley Quinn in the warrior role, who provides strong support by increasing health for damage dealers based on damage dealt, or Deadshot in the firepower role, who also has healing reduction and decent damage output. In the current meta, a balanced and optimal team usually includes a solid front line with the presence of Superman and Wonder Woman. In particular, Wonder Woman is not only an excellent tanker, but also possesses crowd control abilities that affect all enemies, creating ideal conditions for Lobo to deal even greater damage to priority targets. In the support position, Green Lantern is the top choice thanks to his healing, shielding, and effective stun abilities. If you are a free-to-play player, Mara is an excellent alternative with strong sustained healing, or you can also consider other support characters such as Crypto, Starfire, Raven, and others. To further strengthen the team, area damage dealers like the Joker, Constantine, or Sinestro can be used to clear enemy units, allowing Lobo to fully focus on eliminating key targets. In player versus player battles, the biggest threats to Lobo are assassins such as Deathstroke and Nightwing, who can quickly dive the backline and eliminate him in a short moment. To counter this, players should use Aquaman to control enemies, or take advantage of Raven to swap Lobo's position when his health drops low, or also use Queen Hippolyta to generate shields very early and take damage on his behalf. Or Swamp Thing to reduce damage from the very start of the battle, ensuring maximum safety for the team's core damage source. I will suggest more combinations in future videos if you enjoy Lobo. However, you need to keep in mind that this is an extremely expensive character and is not recommended for players who follow a fully free-to-play approach, because Lobo requires high star levels and specific legacy piece equipment in order to survive and provide real value on the battlefield. Without strict protection from teammates, or if he is heavily crowd controlled during his empowered phase, Lobo will easily lose most of his combat value. My strategic advice for you is to only focus on investing if you have enough resources to bring Lobo to at least one blue star, and this is only for new players. For longtime players, where opponents are mostly yellow star or red star characters, you need to reach at least 3 purple stars. Otherwise, be patient and wait for future reruns to accumulate enough necessary resources. Despite the high risks and heavy investment requirements, for those who master proper protection techniques and successfully optimize power through the Spacehog equipment, Lobo will definitely be an irreplaceable strategic card capable of breaking even the most solid defensive teams. I hope this in-depth analysis helps you gain a clearer and more accurate understanding of Lobo's potential on your journey to conquer DC Dark Legion. If you find this information useful, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more character build guides and high-level battle strategy videos in the near future.